It's David Hasselhoff. And he said, I just want to meet the guy that passed my show ratings. But a very nice guy. And I'm tall. I'm like 6'3.5". He's 6'6". He's a big guy. But I'm doing the series. Season 4 is done. Into season 5, or about 2/3 of the way down the series in that season, and I start getting a pain in my left shoulder. And I blew things off all the time. I'm a jock. I grew up playing sports, football, basketball, baseball. I played it all. And I didn't pay much attention to it. I just didn't think it was anything to worry about. And as the next few weeks went on, it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and going down on my arm and into my fingers. I had these 3 fingers right here were starting to get cold, ice cold, bugging me cold. I kept shaking, trying to figure out what was going on with me, what was wrong. And I called my doctor back in Beverly Hills, and I said, Dr. Rob, I got this going on. And he said, have you hit your funny bone lately? I said, I do all my fight scenes, I hit my funny bone all the time. He says, you may have smashed your ulnar nerve. Hockey players do it, football players, and the things that I was describing to him is what made sense to him, and that's what he thought that it was. And to me, I said, fine, so I blew it off. Finished shooting the next couple of weeks. The series, season 5 is now done. I'm coming back to America. I'm going to shoot a movie in Atlanta. But prior to that, I had to go do a press tour for a movie I'd shot the year before in Croatia and Slovakia. It's called Kull the Conqueror, and Kull is the prequel to Conan. And I got one applause, thank you. And I was going to do a big press tour around the country for that before I started this other movie in Atlanta. And Kull, for those who don't know, was the father of Conan in the series. So even though Arnold's older than me, I'm his father. Just so you know. So, as I'm going through Chicago and Dallas and all these other cities, I get up to Boston, New York. When I'm in Boston, my arm was killing me, just bugging me. I called the studio and they said, look, we're going to send a doctor to your place, okay? We're going to have a doctor come check you out. So the doctor comes to my hotel room in Boston. He's working on me, feeling around, doing stuff. But the thing that bothered me is when he comes in the room, he says, hi, my name is Dr. Die. And I said, okay, I know it's D-Y-E, but still change your name. You're a doctor. It's not a good name for a doctor. You would agree, right, Dr. Silverman? I mean, seriously. Change it to Dr. Happy or something. So he hit it on the nail. He said, I think it's cardiovascular. I think you should get this checked out. So I get back to LA. I go see my doctor, Dr. Rob in Beverly Hills. And Rob is feeling around, touching. He finds a lump in my left shoulder. And he says, I think we should get a biopsy on that. Now at the time he thought it was cancer. He didn't want to let me know that at the time. He just wanted to get a biopsy to make sure. I said, all right, it made me a little bit nervous. I go to the gym to work out. This is what I do. I worked out all the time. I was 235 pounds back then. I'm 215 now. I was single-digit body fat. I was in good shape. I was in my 30s. And I go to the gym to work out. I couldn't even pick up 10 pounds. The pain was just searing through my arm. It was driving me absolutely crazy. So I left the gym. I drive the 2 miles into Santa Monica, to visit my chiropractor. Now, I've been going to this chiropractor for 8 years, and in the 8 years, he's never cracked my neck because I do not like my neck cracked. I don't like it. He knows I don't like it. I'm laying there on the table, my eyes are closed, I'm on my back. I hear a voice say as loud as you're hearing me speak right now, in my head say, do not let him crack your neck. I open my eyes, I look at him, I say, what did you say? He says, I didn't say anything. I said, how weird. Close my eyes. 30 seconds later, the voice again, don't let him crack your neck. And I'm sitting there going, why am I hearing this voice? He's never cracked my neck in 8 years. Why is his voice like, boom, he cracks my neck from left to right. I sat up and I said, why did you do that? He said, I felt that you needed it. I said, I don't like that. Paid, I left. I'm driving down Wilshire Boulevard. I'm heading back to my fiance's place. By now I don't have a place in LA. I've sold it. I've gotten rid of it because I'm living in New Zealand. I'm not more than 2 minutes away, and I have 2 very loud feelings in the back of my head. I mean, I physically felt them and heard them. It's like somebody took their fingers and jabbed me back on really hard. My vision goes crazy. It feels like It feels like my head is inside an aquarium, and I'm looking through the water, looking through the glass, and I'm looking at the world around me, and I'm dizzy. I pull over to the side of the road, and I'm sitting in the car for about 15 minutes trying to suss out what had just happened to me. I knew something horrible had just happened. It's that feeling you get, we've all had it when you stand up too quickly if your blood pressure's low, and you get that dizzy feeling. Multiply that by 10, and that's what was going on in my head. I called my fiancée up. I said, Sam, this is what's going on. She says, I'll come get you. Welcome to the world of the male ego. No, I will drive. I'll be fine. So, I don't know how I did it, but I drive. I get to her place. I get back into her place, and it was hard for me to walk at this point too, but then all of a sudden I had 2 more episodes, and I fall over on the ground. Now here's a guy, I've been doing all my own fight scenes, all my own stunts. I work 14 hours a day on that series. 14 hours a day. 2 hours lifting weights after that 14-hour day. I was living off of 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep for the last 5 years. That was my nights, that was my days. I was 18 hours, very typical, 18 hours door to door in New Zealand. And that's what I was doing, and I gave them that because I felt fine doing that. I didn't think things hurt me, anything bothered me. I was into it, I loved it. And I know that this is a big reason why my body was sort of rejecting what I was doing. So I fall over and I look up at her and I say, do you have time? And I couldn't speak. She looked at me and I said, and I knew right then and there. What I was denying the whole time, I was having strokes and now my speech had gone. She got white, she just stood there and froze and she looked at me, and this is what she does, which to this day drives me crazy. As I ask a question and she just looks at me for 3 minutes before answering. Women, this drives us crazy. So she says we're going to go to the hospital. She has to pick me up the floor, and I'm basically hanging on to it. She's already called the doctor. The doctor's called Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills. And hey, Jewish hospital, here we are, Cedars-Sinai, here we are. So as we get out of the car, and she helps me out of the car, and I'm hanging on to her, I just remember this beautiful blue sky day. It was beautiful. And I passed Cedars many, many times. I will always pass that hospital every day. And I know it's there, but I don't think about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. Here I was going into it. And I said to myself, I told her later, but I didn't tell her out loud, but I said to myself, I'm going to die today. Oh. And this really sucks. I thought I'd live to be like 90 years old and have a bunch of kids. And I just figured it was done. The lump in my shoulder was an aneurysm on my left subclavicle. At this point now it had opened up completely. This arm was blue.